Okay, thank you, yeah.
We'll have some type of guard to put over top.
Well, there kind of is, like, I don't even know how I did it, because,
Jeffrey set it off cleaning today.
Oh, did he?
because it's recessed, so I don't know how I did it.
Yeah, but still, I think if you push on it, no, I don't even push that button,
Yeah.
probably just push on it, it's just enough to make the contact.
It's saying we're live, but I'm not seeing video. I'm not sure why.
I only did it once, in how many years?
It's saying we're live, but oh, there it goes. Okay.
Da, da, da.
It is.
Oh, down at the beach?
Yeah.
Hi, Kenny Park.
This meeting is called to order. Would everyone please rise for the flag salute, and please remain standing for a moment of silence for Captain Stanley Lukasiewicz. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Yeah,
I got you covered.
thank you. I appreciate it. May I have a roll call, please?
Councilmember Garrity.
Here.
Councilmember Habercorn.
Present.
Councilmember Owen.
Here.
Councilmember DePamphlis.
Here.
Councilmember McGuigan.
Here.
Councilmember Dill.
Here.
Council President Johnston.
Here. Also present is Mayor Tapp, City Clerk Heath, City Solicitor Smith, and City Engineer Schneider. Mr. Frost will be along shortly, just had a family obligation to attend to first. Pursuant to the Open Public Meetings Act, adequate notice of this meeting has been provided. The agenda for this meeting is posted in City Hall and on the city's website, summerspointgov.org.
Phones aren't plugged in. I don't know where they are.
That's okay. Can hear myself. Okay. Okay, welcome, everyone. Thank you for being here. Just a few changes in the agenda here. We're going to pull resolution number 229, and I'm going to move resolution number 226 up to the front of the agenda. So, resolution 226, please.
Resolution number 226 of 2024, saluting and thanking school crossing guard Lynn Cade Moore. Whereas the city of Summers Point hired Lynn Cade Moore as a school crossing guard in December of 1998. And whereas crossing guards are a vital and integral part of our educational system and the daily lives of children in our community. And whereas crossing guards are responsible for safely crossing children both prior to and at the conclusion of each school day. And whereas parents in schools entrust crossing guards with the lives and well-being of their children. The crossing guard's primary responsibility is to see that school-age children cross the street in marked crosswalks and in a manner which provides for their maximum safety. And whereas crossing guards also instruct children on how to cross a street safely when they are alone or an adult is not available to assist them, whether there is or is not a crossing light. And whereas crossing guards are a welcome and familiar part of a child's day, many know the name of every child who walks through their station, as well as the names of their parents or caretakers. And whereas it is fitting and proper to acknowledge and express appreciation for the labors of these dedicated individuals whose contribution to the protection of our children, though not often recognized, is significant. And whereas Lynn has done an outstanding job of protecting children from the hazards of crossing the street for nearly 26 years. And whereas Lynn has decided to retire from her career as a crossing guard in order to concentrate on the needs of her family. And whereas Lynn's smiling face and cheerful nature will most certainly be missed by the children and parents, as well as the members of the police department who had a chance to work with her over the years. Now therefore be it resolved that the mayor and city council, on behalf of themselves, the employees, and the residents of the city of Summers Point, hereby sincerely thank Lynn Cade Moore for her many years of dedication and loyal service to the school children of the city of Summers Point. And be it further resolved that the mayor and city council extend their best wishes to Lynn and hope for much happiness in her retirement.
May I have a motion, please?
I'll make that motion. Second.
Any comments?
Yeah, Council President, I would just like to thank her for her 26 years of service. The resolution pretty much speaks for itself, but it's a tough job. It's a very large responsibility for very little pay. And I just want to thank her for her years of service with the city and her cooperation with the school district and our police department.
Thank you.
Madam President,
Yes.
if I may, having had, my wife and I have raised 3 children, put them all the way through the Summers Point School District systems, and it is very true that the crossing guard becomes a very part of that fabric of their daily lives, and particularly we have a number of crossing guards that have served for quite some time, and we still see them still wave, as my children are grown adults at this point. So thank you to her family and to her for that service. Thank you.
Yeah, actually, I'd like to, thank Lynn also. She lives right around the corner from me, and I've seen her, every day for the last 35 years, whether I want to or not. She, not only was she a crossing guard there also, but I know when we were doing a dog licensing check, when we were doing the rabies check, she would go door to door, and if everyone had a dog, she would find out who you are, and she would go in there, and she was playing detective, to make sure that your dogs are protected and safe. But I want to thank her very much, and I wish her the best of luck in retirement.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Resolution number 226 is approved. You're going to do this?
I don't know if
Is Lynn
Yeah,
here?
their families over there.
oh, great, go.
Okay.
Let's-
Do you want?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Do you want to
there you
come?
are.
Yeah.
Son of a- I'm
Come
sorry.
forward, please, and we'll. John, you want to do this?
Huh?
Yeah.
That's the mayor, right?
It's the mayor's job.
I didn't know if you wanted to do it.
I appreciate that, but thank you.
I'll handle it.
Yeah, you
All right.
you got- there's no extra charge to get your picture with the mayor. So.
Hi, how are you? Thanks. Yeah, she is. Thank you.
All right, look this way.
Yeah.
There you go.
Okay.
There you go.
You want me to turn around?
Sure.
Nice.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
Okay, next we have a special presentation regarding the project at Bay and Maryland Avenue. Mr. Rick Huff will be doing our presentation. That's not what it says on here.
Thank you, Madam President, members of council, Mayor Tapp. For the record, Richard Hoff, a law firm of Biscayne Hoff. I'm here today on behalf of Summers Point Paddle Club LLC, Harbor Cove LLC, and I think a couple other LLCs, but they're all within the Scarborough Properties family. So I'm here to talk about, as Council President indicated, properties located along Maryland and Bay. We have here sort of a rough site plan of sorts that we hope to be the makings of a redevelopment plan that I'm going to talk about very briefly. As the council probably recalls, Block 1211, Lot 2, is a site of the former and existing redevelopment plan that we did back in 2021 for the Paddle Club is a sort of a recreational club amenity that was subject to the redevelopment plan and actually approved in 2022. Approval's in place, and it provides for, as its name indicates, a paddle club, but also 3 affordable units on the property to provide some affordable housing towards the city's pursuant to their settlement Fair Share Housing Center. Since that approval, and really for a number of years, we've been looking for an opportunity to figure out the corner. What are we going to do with the corner of Maryland and Bay? Commercial, higher density residential. There were a number of things that the ownership group was toiling with as to what they thought worked there. So when the Paddle Club got approved, we started looking harder at that, and what are we going to do sort of comprehensively? And what we've come up with here, and what we're asking for the council to consider by way of sort of moving forward in a redevelopment context is, we have a concept here for that corner piece to be 24 single-family homes, inclusive and including 8 affordable units as well in the corner of that property, for a total of 32 units on that parcel. What we would be doing is, one of the things we've learned in the Paddle Club business, Scarborough Family has one in Brigantine, they have one in Cape May, and so operationally, we found the need for more space to run the operation. Not so much more space for amenities or any type of housing, but space to physically run things, the things you might think of, putting chairs, putting equipment, and having areas for staff. So what we have proposed here is the area that was going to be dedicated to the housing on the Paddle Club, we're actually moving over to the Maryland and Bay parcel, because 8 affordable units on a 24 market rate is a particularly high set-aside. You don't see that very often, but what we're doing is we're taking the 3 from there, and we're incorporating then an additional 20% for the market rate housing that we're proposing, and that's where you get the 8 affordable units. So we think we're all square with the city settlement agreement. I've had the opportunity to speak with Fair Share Housing Center, as well as the city's Affordable Housing Council, and we'll end up getting a consent order from the judge before any of this happens to make sure that it's approved. But we did it with the Paddle Club. I'm very confident we'll do it again with this, because of the set-aside percentages are in line with the city's settlement agreement. So really, as you might recall, this was a site that's actually zoned under the AH1 for a much higher residential density. It anticipated somewhere in the neighborhood of 100+ multifamily units. It didn't work. We tried, we marketed it, and we think this just fits very nicely here. It's a similar product that we've had success with in Cape May. Again, next to a Paddle Club, same type of housing product that's been very successful at Spicer's Creek in Cape May, if you've been down in that area. And we think it's going to similarly be very successful here. So again, it's single-family product, not particularly dense in terms of what was permitted by zoning. This is actually much less. And then finally, to sort of complete the picture there is the Bass Harbor parcel in the back. We're not proposing anything new there. It's simply pretty much codifying what exists out there now. It's the Marine Village Harbor Zone. The use as it exists now is permitted. But given the proximity, we wanted to roll that into one redevelopment plan for the entirety of those 3 parcels. Mr. Jay Shulo is our engineer. He has worked up the zoning standards for all 3 of those parcels. We have that ready to go, ready to pass along to Mr. Kernan, your planner, to take a look at, so he get the go-ahead from council to at least start investigating it. And our goal would be to put that together in a formal redevelopment plan for consideration by the council, and should they find it agreeable, for introduction, referral to the planning board, and then back to you guys for a public hearing and hopefully adoption. We're excited about the plan. We think it marries these uses very nicely in that area. And, you know, we're obviously excited to get started. But that's, in a nutshell, I don't want to take too much council time tonight with their meeting, but in a nutshell, that's what we'd be proposing by way of redevelopment. We're soon to have architecturals. We'll get all of that along in the process. But for now, this is pretty much the 20,000-foot view of what we would be doing out there by way of a redevelopment.
Could,
I'd be happy to answer any questions.
could you just turn that around for a minute so everybody can see it? Thank you. Yeah. Anyone have any questions, council?
Madam President, if I may.
Yes.
You said it would be in a redevelopment zone?
Correct. It's, Ms. Quigg, it's actually in a redevelopment area. All parcels are within a redevelopment area. It would now be consolidated into one redevelopment plan.
So it's already subject to a redevelopment agreement back in when we were much younger, right?
It is already designated, yes.
Right. So that, and that was a settlement agreement for that redevelopment zone, correct?
That is correct.
Is that going away now, or are we going to, what happens to that agreement?
The redevelopment designation won't go away. You actually need that to be able to do the redevelopment plan. The redevelopment plan will serve, as I presume it, obviously input from solicitor and Mr. Kernan, but I presume this to be sort of an overlay situation where the redevelopment plan will exist over all three parcels and allow for this as an additional development option.
But you're saying that there's, since there's already a redevelopment zone or a redevelopment plan there, then why would we need another?
There's only a redevelopment plan for the Paddle Club. There is no redevelopment plan for Maryland and Bay, the corner
But
parcel.
let's go back to 2008, when the settlement agreement that globally took care of all of Bay Avenue.
Correct.
Or those areas in Bay Avenue. That was a redevelopment plan, or not necessarily a redevelopment plan, but I don't know what the proper term would be, a settlement for that builder's remedy suit at the time.
There was a settlement agreement entered. That settlement agreement declared the areas actually in need of rehabilitation, not actually redevelopment.
Okay.
But it then rezoned the parcels, did
Right.
not use the redevelopment process for the purposes of rezoning. It created the AH1, AH2, and AH3 zones. Did not do any redevelopment plan for the parcels.
Right, and those zones all had criteria relative to affordable housing.
They did.
Okay. What happens to those criteria?
Well, since that time, the city has entered into a subsequent settlement agreement with Fair Share Housing Center that recognized that the settlement agreement that was the Bay Avenue redeveloper settlement agreement was premised on the notion of common ownership amongst all of the parcels, all beyond these parcels, including the parcel across the street. The subsequent agreement with Fair Share Housing Center recognized that common ownership fell apart. So what is actually on the books for the city relative to affordable housing is an obligation to pick up affordable housing as these parcels become developed. So Paddle Club is an example. When we came in with the Paddle Club in 2021, although we weren't proposing any residential housing, we were cognizant of that settlement agreement that said we need to pick up affordable housing opportunities as we go along. That was the reason the Paddle Club had 3 affordable housing units on it, even though it had no housing, in recognition of that fact. So now, fast forward to this plan, same premise applies. As we go along, we need to pick up affordable housing opportunities. We're taking the 3 from the Paddle Club, as well as the affordable units that will be generated by the additional residential units, and we're going to put them on this property. I've spoken with Fair Share Housing Center because one of the concerns they raise is, all right, well, how do I know that the affordable housing gets done or doesn't get done, but the Paddle Club gets done, for instance? And we're working out a form of consent order that says that the affordable housing gets done as everything is developed. So,
Will that be part of the redevelopment agreement?
yes, that'll be part of the redevelopment.
So the Paddle Club property was not, did not have an obligation for affordable housing from the 2008 settlement, correct?
Correct. That was one of the parcels that was not zoned for any affordable.
Correct, but the other parcel, the corner parcel, does, or did have an obligation.
That had an anticipation that there would be units on that parcel, correct?
Okay, so and those are anticipated in our agreements with Fair Share Housing.
It is anticipated that as these parcels are developed, affordable housing opportunities will be captured. Family
So what you're
rental.
saying is there's no number now to that,
The number that's referenced in the affordable housing settlement with Fair Share is 26.
all right. We're not getting the 26,
Not yet.
okay,
There's other parcels to go.
okay. And this property, or to do this project, it needs to be in a redevelopment zone?
Redevelopment plans are easier to do from my perspective, in this kind of setting. You got a redeveloper agreement. It's just a better process by which to facilitate the development.
Thank you.
Sure. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Sure.
Thank you.
So what's the next step? Is there escrow money, or
Yeah.
is Tim going to
The
examine
memora-
everything?
The
And
memorandum of understanding and the escrow account and all.
We
work
prepared a
all
form of
that.
escrow so that
Yeah.
escrow can be posted for Mr. Canan's time. My understanding when we met with the redevelopment subcommittee was that council really just kind of has to give a nod to Mr. Canan so that he can start the process. There's no plan obviously yet
Right.
for you to consider. That's really what he needs to get working on. But our understanding was that sort of the board would, or the council would provide some direction as to whether it's worth pursuing, in which case we can get started.
Do
Okay.
you have a timetable for all this?
Yeah, we would like this done by the end of the year. So we have a form of zoning standards that we can provide to Mr. Canan to kind of get him started on this, started running, so to
Right.
speak, with introduction, hopefully later next month, referral to the planning board, then ideally adoption by the council in December.
And then for the $64 question that I'll get asked at every tavern, when will construction start? And when can I move in?
Well, a developer will always tell you as soon as possible, but practically speaking, we're not even going to get to the planning board until first quarter next year. And then it's the state of New Jersey,
Not here.
so.
You know what, though, just to put it out there, my goal on the paddle club side, because the paddle club is a longer build than single-family housing, not the whole thing, would be to try to be in the ground in the spring, like April in the spring, which would give me 12-month build period. I think it's a 10-month build, probably, the paddle club, but we need any cushion you can build in the front end. So that would be ideal, to have that cushion, and then for ramp up and hiring people and going into the summer, it's always chaos, obviously, but yeah, that's the goal.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
See you guys.
See you, Tim.
See you, Tim.
Thank you, Tim. Anyone have any communications to offer? Hearing none. Mr. Mayor?
I just have a couple things. I reported this last meeting. Shore Medical has the free flu clinic. It was just this past weekend. They have another one coming up October 12th, 8 to 12. It's a Saturday at 649 Shore Road. No appointment necessary, but I'll give you a phone number if you choose to make an appointment, which isn't necessary either, but 609-365-6200. And something else that Shore Medical is doing, they have a free nerve pain cause and treatment educational breakfast. And that's going to be October 3rd, and that's in Linwood Country Club from 10 to 12. And the phone number 609-365-5257, if anyone's interested in doing that. This past September 20th, we had our POW MIA ceremony, and it was a very nice event. And I want to just take the time to thank Police Chief Summers and our Summers Point Police Department for being there, Fire Chief Sweeney and the volunteer fire department that's there, the VVA and the AMVETS, Legion Riders, and our Public Works Department that comes out there and sets everything up, and this time the speaker worked, so that was a plus.
That's big.
And I want to take the time to thank Bill Pettick from the VVA. He was our MC. He ran the event, and it was very nice. I was so glad for that. Tomorrow morning, if anyone's up, tomorrow is the Run for the Fallen. It is basically what it is, their mission statement is, it's the New Jersey Run for the Fallen. It's an organization of military runners and support crew whose mission is clear and simple, to run 1 mile for each New Jersey active service member who has died during a global war of terror. Started in Cape May. Tomorrow morning, they will be making a stop at Patriots Park to honor and remember our own A.J. Salstow, our Summers Point resident, and some of us coached him as a kid, and tragically killed in war. And they'll be stopping there. They'll be also stopping at the Grace Lutheran Church for Richard Ornego. He was not a Summers Point resident, or wasn't born and bred here, but he was living here, and then he, got killed more, so we want to be able to acknowledge that. So if anyone could be there at Patriots Park at 7:07, it takes 5 minutes. They come running, they have breakfast in the morning, they run, a big entourage, carrying the flags. They go, they salute AJ, because there's a monument there for him. So sad. But with that, hopefully everyone can be there. Got a report from the Atlantic County Health Department that we had a positive West Nile mosquito on the 100 block of Shore Road. The health department has been notifying 80 local residents to let them know. So if you have any standing water, and I don't even know how we have any water, we haven't had rain anyway, but still, old tires, an upside-down trash can or something that holds water, dump it out. So that way we don't have a West Nile problem here. And lastly, we had new tax bills go out this past week. It gave a list of different events that were happening in town. And unfortunately, they put the wrong date for our Christmas parade. They have it down for the 6th, when it's actually December 7th. It's going to be a Saturday instead of a Friday night. Makes it easier for us to be able to shut down Shore Road with public transportation, always an issue. And we feel that we're going to be able to get more people out there, since they're not rushing home from work and being out there at 6 o'clock. So if you take a look at that flyer, that date's wrong, and we'll be advertising that it's going to be on the 7th. And after that, that's it. You got the reins.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Are you running?
No, these are all military guys, Ron.
Oh,
You kidding me? Be lucky I don't get beat up. But I'll be there.
Okay. Mr. Frost?
Nothing this evening.
Mr. Snyder?
Yes, I just have one item. Every year, we send out to the utility companies updated paving plans for upcoming year, what's projected to be paved. And the New Jersey American Water Company reached out to me because next year for 2025, 3rd Street is scheduled to be repaved. And the water company is looking to push up a project of replacing the main on 3rd Street at the water tank because of that. And they're looking for some kind of support from the city that they're okay with the project. Basically because they have to show that they could push the project forward instead of, waiting 5 or 6 years after we paved it. They're just looking for something from the city. It doesn't have to be official. It could probably be from our city administrator just saying it was discussed and the city's supports the project.
Any reason why we wouldn't want to? I mean,
No, we would want them to do.
We want them to do it
utility
before
work
we-
Before we pave the street.
Right, yeah.
I think they need to show that they're gonna spend the money ahead of time, that the city wants it to. That's the main reason.
Right, oh, okay. Everybody okay with that?
Absolutely.
And Mr. Frost, you'll send them some. Thank you.
Can I ask a question real fast? Any dates on when New Jersey Avenue is going to get paved?
Right now, it's not out to bid yet. The state has the plans. We should go out to bid, I would think, in October. So, construction, it depends on the weather. Hopefully, will be started, November, December, but it definitely, by the time the spring, late spring comes.
Gotcha. Yeah, I know, because I was, went to Charlie's for lunch. I was talking with one of the Thomases there, and they want to have an idea of when that would be, because then that way they can coordinate with things that they need to do for their business.
Yeah,
So the soo-
definitely, when we
As soon
have,
as you know, can you let me know?
yeah, and when we have a contractor, we could actually invite them for the pre-construction meeting, so.
Oh, that'd be great. Yeah. Thank you.
And I guess also, question for you. Ballot Drive's getting ready to phase 1. Bids will be going out soon.
That's already advertised, so
Okay,
that should
That-
be,
that's
awarded
fantastic.
next meetings.
look forward to it. Thanks.
Thank you. Anyone have any committee reports?
Madam President,
Yes.
if I may, I attended the Board of Education meeting last Thursday night. A lot of new faces in administration and staff there. It seems like the team's really coming together. It was stated that back to school was a success, which is a really good thing, and it was brought up that New York Avenue School may go out for a bid on a proposal again, but there was no timing for that at this point. In last council meeting, I did bring up the idea of the Buildings and Grounds Subcommittee. I'd like to see if we could get that started, because I think it's something that's really needed, to do an appraisal of all our buildings and grounds and come up with a strategic plan to go forward on them. So,
Who would like to help Mr. Habercorn with that?
I would like to be involved in that, please.
Okay.
Mr. McGuigan was one that volunteered. I don't know if he still wants to do that.
Yeah, I'll do it, but I mean, Mr. Garrity beat me to the punch.
Okay.
All right, I'll yield to Mr. McGuigan's
Okay.
seniority here.
So if that's okay,
Is that really true?
Thank you for that, Mr. Garrity.
I'd like to do that and get it started, and Jason, obviously, we need you to be a big part of that as we go through it, so thank you.
Okay,
Appreciate that.
great.
But I would imagine there might be some concrete involved in any kind of building, so
Well, I was gonna say,
you could refer me to an expert.
I'm very impressed with the eagerness of all the councilmen. I remember sitting here when they say we need somebody on a committee and everybody be tying
Silence.
their shoes.
Depends on the committee.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, just worry about the electric.
And like I said, I really do appreciate the support, so that's good. Thank you.
Remember,
Okay,
nothing
great.
gets done without the electricians.
There you go. Oh, boy. Bite my tongue. Okay. Okay, could I have a motion to approve the regular meeting minutes from September 12th, 2024, and also executive session minutes from September 12th as to content only?
So moved.
Second.
Any comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? The minutes are approved. Okay, we'll move on to resolutions. Could I have a motion to open for public comment on resolutions only, please?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second that motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? We're now open for public comment on resolutions only. Anyone wishing to speak, please step up and state your name for the record.
Motion to close the public portion on the resolutions.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? We're now closed for public comment. Resolution number 223.
Resolution number 223 of 2024, canceling homestead benefit balances due to 100% exempt veteran status.
May I have a motion, please?
So moved.
Second.
Any comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Resolution number 223 is adopted. Number 224.
Resolution number 224 of 2024, authorizing purchase of playground equipment through the Educational Services Commission of New Jersey National Cooperative Purchasing Program for contract number 24 and 25-01, playground equipment, site furnishings, outdoor circuit training equipment, and related products for the Summers Point Public Works Department.
May I have a motion, please?
I'll make that motion.
Can I say one thing real quick? Sorry. This resolution, the quote was updated yesterday, and the resolution doesn't reflect the updated amount. The updated amount is actually, which is on the proposal is correct, $81,082. The resolution says $72,375.82. This is to account for the dissemination and demo of the existing playground equipment, because that wasn't included in the initial.
Okay, what was the number again? 81?
Yeah, it's $81,082.
Do we have to amend the resolution to reflect that?
We could amend it. Yeah.
Okay.
Motion to amend.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. The resolution is amended. I need a motion for
Just
the,
one point of clarification, Mr. Frost, this money is from a previous capital plan, or capital
Improvement project.
budget, and it's been, bonded.
Correct.
Thank you.
Mr. Frost, can I ask a question? What's the timing on this, as far as completion, or,
I honestly don't know. I'm pushing for before the end of the year, but it kind of depends on whether, we've come a long way from when it was taking 18 months to get this stuff in. I think it's probably closer to 60, 90 days, but
don't hold you, that? Okay.
That's what I'm pushing for.
All right. Thank you.
difficult process.
Yep, yep, thank you.
Okay, I need a motion for the amended resolution number 224, please.
So moved.
Second.
Any comments?
Yeah, Council President, I would just take a moment to, I know there was a lot of work done over the last 18 months by both Mr. Frost and Councilman McGuigan, and it's long overdue that that equipment be replaced at the beach, and I want to thank them for their efforts in getting this done.
I'd like to echo that. I think it's a great upgrade.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Resolution number 224 is adopted. Number 225, please.
Resolution number 225 of 2024, authorizing executive session. Advice of counsel and attorney-client privilege communication regarding the status of contractual negotiations between the PBA, Patrol and Dispatch, and the City of Summers Point.
May I have a motion, please?
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Resolution number 225 is adopted. Number 227, please.
Resolution number 227 of 2024, authorizing executive session. Advice of counsel and attorney-client privilege communication regarding the status of litigation involving the city's planning board entitled GMH Restaurant Holdings LLC, GMH Restaurant Enterprises, Gary M. Holloway versus the City of Summers Point, having a docket number of ATL-C-66-24.
May I have a motion, please?
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Any comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Resolution number 227 is adopted. Just so everyone knows, in the interest of everyone's time, we'll be going into executive session at the end of the meeting. I don't anticipate taking any action after, but you're more than welcome to wait in the hallway until we're finished. And we adjourn. Resolution number 228, please.
Resolution number 228 of 2024, approval of short-term tax exemption application for Sunset Avenue Redevelopment LLC.
May I have a motion, please?
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Any comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Resolution number 228 is adopted. Number 230, please.
Resolution number 230 of 2024, awarding bid and authorizing contract for vehicle exhaust removal systems for the 2 fire companies in Summers Point.
May I have a motion, please?
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Any comments?
Yeah, Council President, this is something that was budgeted in this year's capital improvement, and has been requested by both fire departments for several years, and we're finally able to do this for them. It does exactly what it says. It pulls the exhaust system out of the building as a safety precaution for our volunteer firemen. And I'm happy to be able to vote on this and award this contract.
Okay, thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Resolution number 230 is adopted. May I have a motion for the consent agenda, please?
I'll make that motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? The consent agenda is adopted. Okay. Anyone have any old business to discuss?
Madam President, I just want to bring up something. We have a walking group in town called We Walk Summers Point that had been walking on Mondays. We're going to extend the schedule into October and November, and we're going to walk both on Monday and Wednesday. On the Mondays in October, we're going to meet behind City Hall on a bike path. On Wednesday, we're going to meet down by the track and football field. Everybody's welcome to come. On October 21st, we have a representative from Shore Medical coming over to City Hall here to give a talk on vaccines and flu. It's right after the walk. You don't have to walk. You're all welcome to come. It's a reach out by Shore Medical to try to help educate our residents. So that's going on too. So any information on that, please reach out. I'd love to give you as much as we can on that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Also, Madam President, old business.
Yep.
Under committee reports, Arts Commission, we just had met this past Monday. 2 weeks ago, they had the Art in the Park. It went really, really well. I want to thank all the
members and all the volunteers and everybody that came out. They really did a bang-up job, as well as having, Atlantic County with the transportation and all the vendors and whatnot, and it was really a good atmosphere. And looking forward to, they have the talent show coming up at the theater at the end of the month in October.
Art in the Park was great. We have a lot of talented people here in Summers Point. Okay, anyone have any new business to discuss? Hearing none. Discussion of the bills, Mr. Frost?
Yes, this evening we have a bill list, in $1,551,000, $1,551,014.82, as well as a record payment in the amount of $19,902.62.
Okay. Could I have a motion to open for public comment, please?
I'll make that motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? We're now open for public comment. Anyone wishing to speak can please step up and state your name for the record. I'd also just remind everyone to please abide by the 3-minute rule so everybody gets an opportunity to speak.
Hello, friends of council. Hello, Madam Council President.
Hello, Mr. Fox.
Just get my timing up here if you all don't mind. All right, well, I'm here today in reference...
state your name.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Levi Fox, 90 Broadway, Apartment C4,
Thank you.
Vice Chair of the Historical Preservation Commission. I'm here today to speak to the redevelopment proposal that came before council last meeting. And I actually think that the proposal that came before us earlier today provides a very useful counterpoint to what seems to be happening to myself and 16 other families in the High Bank Apartments. As I know that you all know because it was brought up last meeting, we all received eviction notices. Many of us received it before the initial presentation to council in terms of that redevelopment scheme. We were told that we need to be out by the end of the year. And I feel like, given that we just saw a redevelopment proposal that first came before council, was it 2 or 3 years ago, that the idea of forcing residents out before there's been any attempt to begin to secure the necessary state permits is, kind of a public policy problem that we're appealing to you all to intervene in. There's no guarantee the project that was proposed, or any project, is ever going to be built there, given the environmental concerns where we're located. And I would, given the paucity of affordable housing in the city that was referenced earlier, suggest that kicking 17 families out at Christmas, when it's not necessary, and when it doesn't seem to serve the longer-term interests of the community, is something that, again, we would ask you all to try to help us alleviate. I won't bore you all with the details of why we believe the current process is problematic. They're kind of putting the cart before the horse. What we are asking is that as a council, since there is discussion about going into a redevelopment agreement with the new owners, and since we have been informed by the current owner, the only reason that people are being kicked out is because of a condition of the sale to the new owner, that we would ask if you may negotiate with the new owner and say, hey, well, Summers Point is not going to go ahead and give you everything you want if you're going to force 17 families to be kicked out at Christmas for reasons that have not yet been explained to anyone, why that needs to happen, why eviction would come, probably 2 years before construction could even begin. They brought us last week, they brought you all, we could call it, I think generously, concepts of a plan. And we would ask that there be an actual plan and that the law be followed and that we actually have the 3 years we're guaranteed when there's a conversion, as is happening. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Hello, my name's Mary Fondy. I live at 28 Delaware Avenue. I just want to say that I live in a historic house in a protected section of town, how much I value and appreciate the protection and the respect that the city provides for people who live in the historic area and people who live near the bay. And I would hope that you would extend that respect and protection to the residents of the High Banks Apartments who are right by the bay. I know an environmental study would have to be done, and that takes time, and maybe it would be a good idea to allow that time to the residents instead of forcing them out in 3 months. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, Susanna Slaughter, 13 Violet Lane. I saw that there was some eccentric and vulgar artwork on multiple sides of the, vacated Walgreens property. I was hoping council might be able to enlighten me on what's being done about that, and if there's any timeline on when that's going to be cleaned up, either by
Yeah.
the city or by
We are aware of
the
it. yes.
property.
That'll
That's
be,
been
it'll be
taken care
cleaned
of.
up tomorrow.
Yeah.
We've been in touch with Steve Nemad, who's the attorney representing Jerry Holtz, who owns that building. He was contacted today. He had told us that if he did not get it done today, he will get it done tomorrow. If not, I'll get Public Works take care of
Great,
that.
thank you.
Thank you. Can I have a motion to close?
I'll make that motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? We're now closed for public comment. Could I have a motion to pay the bills, please?
I'll make that motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Mr. Frost can pay the bills. Any further comments for the public from the governing body? Hearing none, we'll take a 5-minute recess and go into executive session. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Jim?